Hi, I'm Brian, and last night I went to the cinema to see M by Depeche Mode. And here's the thing, I've never really gotten into Depeche Mode, but I've always thought that I should. It seems to me like some sort of anomaly that I've just missed them. I love New Wave, I love post punk, I love dance, I love EDM, all good things from Depeche Mode, but I never really kind of got into them. So I went along last night to have this serve as some sort of an education. And by God, did I see something that was beyond enjoyment. It was fascinating, it was thrilling, it was dark, it was mysterious, and all those sorts of things. Um, and let's face it, what are you going to do on a boring night on the south coast of New South Wales in Australia where it's rainy and it's cold, other than go to the cinema to see Depeche Mode? Why wasn't everybody doing it? Well, there was virtually nobody in the cinema, and I don't mean nobody and nobodies. Everybody there, of course, was a somebody, but there were virtually nobody in the cinema, so I had plenty of time and room to enjoy this for myself. Anyway, the film was directed by Fernando Frias de la Parra, and as I said, it was based on those three concerts that were filmed in Mexico City. And my God, what a stadium that was! The Foro Sol Stadium, and it didn't appear that big until you got a complete shot from the stage looking out at the audience. It was like there's a massive football field, but then going up the back were these bleachers, and there were people like must have been half a kilometre away from the stage. Incredible amount of people, and apparently they did about 200,000 people over the three shows. Anyway, I'm probably never going to get the opportunity to see Depeche Mode in concert. I did a bit of research overnight while I was sleeping, I think it was. And I found out that the last time they'd been in Australia to perform was 1994. So this is like the 31st anniversary, not the 51st anniversary, the 31st anniversary. And I thought if they did come out to Australia, I'd probably be hit with dynamic pricing. Isn't that a great thing that you're doing, Ticketmaster or whoever it is around the world? And I'll probably be spending thousands of dollars. But no thanks. I've got my $23 ticket and I'm going in to see Dave Gahan for the first time on stage, Martin Gore, and then backed with Martin Gordino and Christian Eigner on the drums, Martin Gordino on the keyboards. Sound quality is great, film quality is fantastic. And so what I'm going to use this for is a reaction to the film, a reaction to the songs, and also a review of sorts as well. And I'm going to ask the question, I suppose, has this made me a fan of Depeche Mode, or am I still going to be somebody who picks and chooses along the way? And I'm going to go through the entire set list, song by song by song. Some I'll spend more time on than others. I'll put some audio samples in from other performances so you can hear what I was really engaging with. Funnily enough, my Kazam, or whatever it's called, Shazam, wasn't working in the cinema, so I had to just listen to those lyrics and see if I could work out what they are. So anyway, here we go. I'll put some links down to the songs and some timestamps below if you don't want to hear all the songs, or you don't perhaps want to hear them in order because you're going to see the film. But here's my reaction. And the show started off with My Cosmos Is Mine, and that was from Memento Mori. And immediately I get this idea, that Dave Gahan is a dancer of some description. He's done some training in dance because he's floating all over the stage. And, he's in his early 60s and he's looking fantastic. And his voice is mellifluous and deep and resonates throughout the audience. And there's Martin Gore, who's busy piling it away on the guitar and the keyboards, and his voice is still angelic and beautiful. And the two voices work absolutely superbly. There's ominous, brooding sets of keys that are going through this song, and it really sets the tone well. But initially, I'm noticing that it seems to be all in black and white. And it's only in the next song, which is Wagging Tongue, also from Memento Mori, where we see a big flash of red come over Dave. And we've got this idea of Dave as Mephistopheles or Mephisto or something like that. Then we go into It's No Good from the Spirits in the Forest. And this is a big cheer. The crowd gave this an enormous cheer when it came on. It's a big sing along. And it is the sort of song and the sort of groove which is never going to grow old. It's very new wave. And Dave is just, he's shocking me a little bit that he is such an engaging and hypnotic presence on stage. You just almost have to watch him. And one of the things that the director does really well is target where we're watching in the audience. His ability to focus our eyes is incredible. And so there are moments that we're on Dave, moments on the band, moments on the crowd, and moments when we're with Martin and Christian as well. So that's particularly well done. Everything Counts from Construction Time Again. I think that's their third album. And I think this is the oldest track here. This one really got me all the way from the 80s, the electric toms. And we have a situation where we have a normal stage, and then we have a catwalk down to a thrust stage at the front. I'm not exactly sure what that's called, but a lot of bands do their acoustic set down the front there, and it's utilized a few times. I'm loving the distorted keys here, and what that means is I'm listening around. I'm going, where's that guitar coming from? But there is no guitar. It's two um, Martin and Martin are both playing keyboards in this, and it's really grungy, but there's no guitar. Let's have a listen if I can get something here. Yeah, so I hope that got some part of what I was talking about the grunginess of the guitars. And Martin sings the bridge in that, and he is in fine voice as well. Definitely, it's the song I'm going to check out and get my head around. As is the next song, which is called "My Favorite Stranger" from Memento Mori, and this one leapt out at me. This is one of my favorite songs that I heard throughout the entire concert. And I love the lyrics. Some perfect stranger sneaks on tiptoes, steals my shadow, and goes where I go. My favorite stranger stands in my mirror, puts words in my mouth, all broke and bitter. Yeah, the real favorite to this point. And I love that bass groove. The lyrics are really spooky and mysterious. I mean, what more do you want than this? I mean, incredible stuff. And then we're given another interlude. Now, I should have said there was an interstitial right at the beginning, which is sort of cut into it, which was about blood sacrifices to the sun on top of a pyramid. That culture of death, appreciation, the inevitability of death, and they sort of get these home movie shots, etc. These sequences which give us a home movie sort of feel to them. And the second one that I'm talking about right now was kind of really interesting as well. And this was, we were hearing poetry while we were on a boat, sort of winding our way through this foggy river with trees overhanging as we were going past them and looking at waterfowl and that sort of thing. I mean, it was beautiful. It was a little bit of a relief. And it sort of could stand on its own in many ways. I'm not sure how effective it was for the concert, all of these interstitials, but some were better than others. And they don't certainly, I don't think they hamper the performance at all. Sister of Night was next, and this is from Ultra. And this really gave me some orchestral maneuvers in the dark vibes with these sumptuous synths. And there was Dave prancing around doing his ballet. It was absolutely, he's moving bloody well, that's what I can say. Speak to Me was up next, and this song really caught my attention as well. Once again, from Memento Mori. So I'm really going to want to explore this album further. And it's interesting. I suppose it's because we're getting so much of it because it had just been released that it was being signposted and privileged, but it also comes across really great. And in this song, Speak to Me, it's a beautiful number, and there's some real poignancy, not only in the music, but the lyrics as well. And some of the lyrics: speak to me in a language that I can understand. Tell me that you're listening. Give me some kind of plan. Give me something. You'd be my drug of choice. You lead me, I follow your voice. I really dig the keyboard solo, which is sort of theremin inspired, and it's so good. Let's have a listen. And the ascension to the crescendo at the end is just gobsmackingly good. And once again, I should have mentioned this at the start. One of the symbols that keeps coming through in this movie is TV screens, and generally old and battered TV screens, TVs that we would never use anymore. And we see it on so many levels. I mean, there's a shot from people in the crowd during one of the songs, and you look up on the stage and you look up towards the stage and you realize 50% of the people here are videoing this concert. So their eyes are going through a video screen, and then towards the end of this song, I think it is, what happens is that we see it through old TVs, and so we've got these different barriers which are making the point that we're always sort of being spectators, I think. I'm not quite sure, but it's really interesting. And it's the TVs themselves that artistically by De La Parra, and I can't remember his name, who was the artistic designer here, is that they were repurposing these TVs to give them an artistic poignancy and edge and usefulness, a purposefulness as well. Kind of really cool. And that came back to, it was explained to us once about the theory of Pepper's ghost, and the idea that you take images and reflect them upon each other to give that ghost-like quality. The image is being trapped inside the TV, and now this is an opportunity and an experience for the opportunity to get out. Kicking it right along, we go to Soul With Me, again from Soul With Me, again from Memento Mori, and this could have been a jazz standard. It's Martin's opportunity to shine on stage with the vocals, and he does such a beautiful job of it. I think Dave introduced him towards the end when they were doing their, not their credits, but their curtain call, introducing the band, and he said it was the wonderful angelic voice of Mr. Martin L. Gore. Pretty cool song, this one. It'd be interesting to see a small jazz band play it. On to A Pain That I'm Used To, which is from the album Playing with the Angel. And we've got the bass and the drums really setting up this song to rock with soul. And there's Martin, who's playing a Gibson Explorer, which shows how much money he is, because I think they go for a fortune. I can't really hear it too well, particularly in the verses, but then it does come alive when we hit the main riff. And it's a killer chorus here. This is a big song, and there are some awesome moments within it. We move on to Wrong from the Sounds of the Universe album, and this one is a little bit crazy. It's got that Kurt Weill, Bertolt Brecht, sort of the nightmarish carnival sort of feel to it, which is interesting because it links to the discussion that was done in one of the interstitials later about Carnival in Brazil and the Day of the Dead in Mexico being religious ceremonies rather than national ceremonies. It's kind of interesting one. Anyway, it's food for thought. On to Stripped, which is probably the song I know best from this concert list, this set list. And I know it primarily because of Rammstein's cover of it. And to me, that has always been one of the great songs that I've ever heard. And then a friend of mine told me that it was Depeche Mode and played it to me. And they're like different songs entirely, and they can both be liked. But I'm almost saying like I like Depeche Mode's cover of that Rammstein song. Like saying I love Bob Dylan's cover of All Along the Watchtower, that Jimi Hendrix song. There's plenty of them. I love that John Lennon cover of that Roxy Music song, that type of thing. But here I'm really pleased to say that these two songs can completely coexist. And I wonder if you like the Rammstein one as much as I do. Mr. Music. And during Stripped, the stage, and particularly Dave, is just awash with red again, tying into that Mephistopheles sort of idea. But this is eerie, this is bloody, this is dangerous, this is risque. And the chorus is a massive sing-along, which I never would have picked for this song. It's absolutely enormous. And I love that line, "Let me hear you make decisions without your television." And isn't that so cool when the symbol that is most prominent throughout this film by De La Parra is the symbol of televisions. Let me hear you make decisions without your television. Let me hear you speaking just for me. Let me see you strip down to the Moving right along now to another interstitial, and this one's about the inevitability of, well, it's inevitable what I'm about to say, and the word is death. So let's go straight on to the next song, which is World in My Eyes, again from Violator. And this is sultry, it's seductive, it's smooth, and it gives me all those hallmarks again of Roxy Music. What do you think? Are there viable comparisons to be made between Roxy Music and Depeche Mode? It's all right. This is a good song. It's seductive, as I said, but it's right in the groove, and I love Martin's harmonies all the way through it. And then we come on to an interesting interlude interstitial now, because we're going to a dot matrix printer. So we've got that old technology being repurposed and reused. And what it's printing out this time, I believe, are photocopies of Andy Fletcher. And this is sort of a really fitting, beautiful tribute to him when we have a shot which is focused on the crowd down the front, and they're all holding up these photocopies of Andy Fletcher. Now, I assume that was done live in the concerts. You can tell me, I'm sure, but absolutely beautiful. On to the next song, which is Enjoy the Silence, and this is off Violator again. And now Martin's playing his guitar, which is a lime green Gretsch right below his knees here, like a true rock and roll star. And we've got feelings of that this is ominous, this is devilish, this is inevitable, and it's a massive crowd pleaser. They're clubbing along. It's devious, it's dark, it's mysterious. And Dave goes to his crucifix poses again, and it's always a question of whether he's going to hold his crucifix pose or he's going to grab onto his jolly todger. Anyway, unbelievable crowd scenes during this chorus. There's an over-the-shoulder shot, or way back it's a bit, but you see Dave standing looking out at the audience at the end of the thrust stage with his arms out in the crucifix pose, and that's when you truly get some sort of a scope at how massive this crowd is. Absolutely. And so he's standing there like the painting, The Old Man at the Abyss, or whatever it's called. I'll try and put in a picture of it right there for you now. You know it. And hats off to the band, by the way. All of this is being made by 4 people, and they're doing a superb job. And it looks like I'm going to have to buy Violator, I would suggest. Condemnation of Songs of Faith and Devotion is up next, and this time we cut away to some visuals away from the concert on the stage. It's sort of got this sort of warping underwater feel to them, and this is an alt country ballad, and wonder whether this is their Exile on Main Street. And I wonder whether this is their Exile on Main Street moment. And there's this a beautiful moment at the head of the traversal, at the head of the thrust stage, where Martin and Dave are just playing together. So Dave singing, Martin's playing the guitar, and it's quite an intimate moment. And then the band kick in about halfway through the song, and at the end of the song, Martin and Dave share a hug, which is really great. Next interstitial coming up is a dream about a mother dying. We get a voiceover, and the film that we see is very David Lynchian. It's scary, and it's scarring. It's not a bad one. Never Let Me Down is next up, and this is from Music for the Masses, and this has got a rocking feel to it. And again, I'm getting a vibe of sort of a new wave Rolling Stones. I love the lyrics of I'm taking a ride with my best friend. And visually, there's these triplets of Martin. So you see Martin 1, Martin 2, Martin 3, and then Dave 1, Dave 2, Dave 3. And again, I said about De La Parra before, he's a master of focus and making it clear where he wants you to look. I'm not sure this song's a great one for me, but I tell you what, I love the psych breakdown in the middle. So good. I realized that there are so many people in this crowd, particularly when you see the drone shots from above and you see these ocean of people in the audience going up and down and bobbing around, and they're just like these little specks. You wouldn't even know they were humans. And then from there, I could look out and see the stage and realizing that Dave and Martin and Christian are all like that big, and you're thinking, wow, this is incredible. The hypnotism, that's got such negative connotations. It's incredible, this magneticism of the band. This crowd loves these songs so much, and I'm starting to understand why. Our final song for the concert is Personal Jesus, and this is another song that I was familiar with off Violator. It's swampy, it's bluesy, it's got grunt, it's got a bit of grunge. It starts almost like at halftime, like a real sort of swampy country song, and then at a point the band kicks in and everybody kicks in, and all of a sudden we are into breakneck speed. Well, breakneck speed for Depeche Mode. It's a great song. It's an absolutely great song, but something about this performance didn't grab me. But maybe that's just me. Directorial highlights, I would suggest. The video quality is exceptional, And every time they go into sort of these filters with TVs and old technology, VHS, there's a really interesting, insightful reason for doing it, and you just feel part of it. The audience shots are incredible. The drone from above, the shots where you see everybody taking photos, the torch lights through the screens, the torch lights of their phones are incredible. Plenty of close-ups, plenty of mid shots, but the crowd is what really sets it off, like candles in the sea, just bobbing and floating. One other thing I really liked was that there was an interview in one of the interstitials um, where it was like a vox pop, and people were being interviewed a certain series of questions, and the interview was playing over the top like a voiceover, and the answers and the questions, or particularly the answers, but the people on the screen actually weren't saying anything, and that was just really cool. And immersive, I think is the word. Anyway, so where do we go with Depeche Mode? Well, I think this was a superb introduction to the band for me that I've neglected for so long. And I'm going to be certainly looking out for Depeche Mode on vinyl in shops, and hopefully I'll be able to find someone. I'm already got on my list Violator and Memento Mori, but maybe now that you've heard the songs that I really like, and you might know a bit about my taste anyway, maybe you might be able to put down in the comments some recommendations on which albums that I should have a listen to and really pay some respect to. So for an introduction into Depeche Mode, absolute big tick. And I'll be very surprised if people who know the band, who worship the band, who are massive fans of the band, don't also think this was a really worthwhile experience. But once again, let me know and see how you went here. For me, it was money and time well spent on a Tuesday night, which was cold. It was windy, and it was on the south coast of New South Wales in Australia, but I got there into the cinema. So I hope you've enjoyed this my reaction to this film and my review of it. Definitely worth seeing, as I said. And reminding you, if music of any size, shape, sound, or stripped gives you pleasure, then who am I to argue with your opinion? Until next time, maybe you might want to look at some of those reviews. There's some film reviews in there. There's some music reviews. It might be something for you. But until next time, I hope you're doing really well, staying cool, and bye now.